A little under a year and a little over 1,900 miles is all it took to basically destroy this $200,000 GT4RS. The first owner crashed it, and then the shop that was contracted to fix it did anything but. And now it's in our hands to decide if this thing's ever going to see the road again. The outside of the car, it doesn't look so bad, although we do have concerns with what lies underneath. But our primary area of concern is the fact that the engine is in absolute shambles, and we need to figure out why. Shop that was contracted to fix it, in quotation marks, they did get it driving again, which is where the rest of the problem supposedly came in, that as they were bringing it back from a salvage inspection, just stopped running. A good spot to start, because the plugs are already out, is with a borescope.
It's like a piston.
The car's on the lift and he's still on his tippy toes.
Cylinder wall looks a little funky.
That cylinder wall does not look great. It almost looks like pitting.
Yeah, it's rust pitting.
Oh, wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting to see that. Is this a flood car and a wrecked car?
Curveball.
You're a professional in this area. What is your diagnostic here?
Looks like a pile of shit, all right.
Do we have a way to verify that this is a 4RS engine?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you're saying that might
given by the oil filter location and the oil filter part number, yes, because the RS engines are unique to that oil filter.
Well, that's not good either.
That's in the treads, probably not long enough.
The one thing that I keep coming back to is on this side. There is a massive amount of what appears to be residual coolant, but it's everywhere. This is the side that pitting is on the cylinder wall, and I just can't help but think that there's some sort of correlation between it and maybe a blown head gasket, something along those lines.
It's clean.
Nothing immediately alarming about that.
No, it looks golden brown.
Like 1900 mile oil should.
It smells like oil.
Does that look like glitter to you?
Yeah, that kind of looks like glitter to me.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit. Oh, wow.
What's gonna?
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a chunk right there.
Wow.
You don't want to see in there. You do want to see in there, actually.
That bad?
God,
All right, pull it
Told you,
away.
It's like the Bering Sea.
how do you eat a motor like that?
Wow. Well, my brother bought this thing knowing it might need an engine, and it's not a mite anymore.
Yeah. How long? We're about 17 minutes into diagnostic and we're ordering a motor. Golly.
You guys have seen the oil just like we have. It's pretty muddy and murky, but popping off the oil pan here is drawing a crowd. Everyone wants to see what lies underneath.
It's nice to see somebody blow some money and not be me. Yeah, I'm interested.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
What's the problem? All my engines look like that.
That's nuts. Cam chest number 1. So no ridiculous surprises on this first cam chest, but this is in no way, shape, or form what a 1,900 mile Porsche GT4RS engine should look like. Definitely a lot of small metal pieces went through this engine, and maybe a couple larger pieces. There's some fairly heavy and obviously uneven wear on some of these cams. This is the passenger side of the engine where we had that pitting, and now that it's out, it's a little bit more visible, but it's not raised up. It doesn't catch your fingernail or anything like that, but to see it on such a low mileage engine is pretty wild. So it's possible that I got myself turned around because this side of the engine, the pitting on the cylinder walls looks well worse. So maybe this is what we saw on the borescope originally, and I was just getting flip-flopped around with this thing on the engine stand. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that piece. Look at the rods right there. They're kind of like a grayish color. And then look at that one, which would be number 3. That one definitely looks like it's been discolored, probably by heat. And then also at the very back of the engine, which would be number 6, looks to be the same kind of brown hue with those heat discolorations, while everything else is just kind of a gray, blue, kind of just normal metal look to it.
I'm gonna guess it doesn't move an inch.
Gonna guess it doesn't move an inch. So curiosity's got the best of my brother. We were told that that it locked up, didn't rotate at all. We haven't tried it yet. Go ahead, give her a shot, I guess.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, she's locked.
This is about to be a lesson in strength, not physics, strength. Oh my God, the bolts are bending. Yeah, never mind. This is seized. Okay, solved that.
Yeah, just a little bit bent.
I'm gonna go look up how much these are on.
Said it was a lesson in strength. It was a lesson in strength, all right? That's what I meant. I didn't mean I was going to spin the engine.
You're gonna pay for this.
I owe you.
Literally hours later, we are finally making some progress on this thing. I was finally able to break loose the cylinder that is next to the one that we believe is our biggest problem child. Unless we can get this crank to rotate, there's no way that we're going to be able to split these case halves. We're basically thinking that the crank is toast given what we're seeing, but the case halves might still be good, and they are extremely valuable. No freaking wonder. Wow.
That the bearing's gone. Like that's the rod.
It completely trued through the bearing.
Yeah, like look at the tolerance between the bolt hole and the end of the rod. Between the sides. It was eating the physical
Rod.
titanium, I think it is, of the rod.
So this thing either cracked the crank, or that is the bearing that we're seeing, and it started to crack the bearing.
My first thought is that is actually the bearing
I think it is.
welded to the crank.
Yeah, the other side is significantly worse.
That had to have gotten so hot.
Truly insane how damaged that is. But that does also answer our question that is the bearing on there cracking, but the crank underneath doesn't look any better. If there is any sort of Porsche mechanic that is watching this, they have to be yelling at their screen right now for what I am doing. But we are so close to being victorious. That is a piston pin for the last piston that is on this side of the case half, which means it should separate. Yes! I am triumphant.
Can this be considered triumph?
Days, literal days I just spent on this piece of garbage. The worst part is that right there looks like it spun, I guess, the thrust bearing, which pretty much means that both case halves are trashed along with the crank.
You got aluminum scrap now.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That is insane. And finally, after days worth of work, the crank is out. Two rod bearings that this thing literally welded to the crank, and then this rearmost main bearing. And I suppose really the only question now is why we went this far, aside from seeing the carnage. And it wasn't until about an hour ago that we got these case halves split and we realized that this rear bearing had spun, because otherwise all of the bearings on the case halves are actually in pretty good shape. This is the other case half too, and again, aside from that rearmost bearing, this thing is not in bad shape. Hopefully it might be salvageable, because these from Porsche brand new are something like $20,000 for this engine. In the week since we found the utter destruction that was hidden in the original engine for this GT4RS, my brother was able to source an entire long block replacement. Also in that time, Top Coat Garage was able to handle all the bodywork and paint on the car. Now all we need to do is put the engine in, and then this thing will be a functioning car again. And for that, we're gonna give ourselves 1 hour. Just kidding, we're not making that mistake again. Look good?
Yep. Gotcha.
What?
Quality control.
Oof. Just to make it lighter, you know.
It might do it, it might not.
I haven't looked at this at all, and I'm gonna say it's not gonna work.
I ain't gonna work.
Okay, go up.
I'm not stopping this time. I'm just going straight down. You guys better.
Hey, it should be pretty darn close. We didn't move it.
Stop. Up again. Okay, now go down.
Don't sound like you lined up very well over there, Mr. Tim.
It's so close. It's in a blind spot for me. Go ahead, go down.
It's a good thing I was kidding about that 1 hour time clock.
Shut up. A little more. Probably right about, maybe a little more. Right there.
Yep. Okay.
All right, that's it.
You're in?
I'm in up against chassis.
Keep going. Oh, you're very close now. Keep going. There.
So for those not taking notes, in order to install a Porsche engine back into a Porsche, we're not even talking about engine swaps, you need approximately 20 feet in 2x4s, chopped down into random sizes, a rolling cart, a Craftsman floor jack, and every single socket and wrench in your box. Oh, and a lift. You need one of those too. Definitely a lift. With the factory exhaust manifolds reinstalled and the over-axle pipes in place, you get an idea of just how tight the exhaust fits into these Cayman chassis. Now, the last piece on the bottom side of the car here might very well be the perfect icing on the cake.
It's a Valvetronic full titanium exhaust, which I can't wait to see how this is going to sound on the car.
See how it's going to sound, or hear how it's going to sound?
Hear how it's going to sound.
It certainly looks good.
It's beautiful.
With the GT4 that we rebuilt something like 2 years ago now, the lack of exhaust tone was something that we noticed.
And the one thing that car is missing 100%, sounds.
With this exhaust, I don't think that's going to be a problem on this car. The Valvetronic exhaust comes with its own tips, but this particular GT4RS has something special.
These are the Y-Stock titanium exhaust tips, which are very desirable to run on these cars, even with an aftermarket exhaust system.
And if you want to hear something especially crazy, just this little titanium exhaust, the pair of them, new from Porsche, about $7,000. On the top side, this thing's going to stay all OEM. We have tons of trim panels to install and one very special OEM air intake. We don't get that many supercar designed vehicles that come through the shop, but this air intake system is just absolutely insane. It has tons of pieces, even more bolts that hold it all together. On the side of the car, there are intake ducts that feed fresh air down through these beautiful carbon fiber intake pipes that then feed directly into this duct. The air then passes through the intake filters, which are sandwiched in place by a couple trim pieces, and ultimately into the throttle body, which bolts on under here. And then the top part is sealed up with a beautiful carbon fiber piece. This is technically the correct oil that's supposed to go in the car. It's a 0W40 that's specifically designed for the GT engines. We're going to do a little bit of a startup procedure here. We're going to run this through, which is another 0W40. Basically going to let the car run for a short period of time, and then we're going to drain it immediately. So we didn't really think it was necessary to put the best stuff in it. Well, after being unsuccessful vacuum filling the coolant system, we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, which on these cars means getting creative.
I'm not ready.
I was going to ask if you were nervous.
I'm not ready.
I wasn't going to try and, make you nervous.
Yeah. No, I've thought about bailing out like 3 times today to go home and put it off till Monday.
To make it happen.
I didn't say anything. You just heard what I was thinking.
All right, go ahead.
Got a little fuel left in her, huh?
Sure, you pulled the right fuse?
Took the first time starting a project car, huh?
This part of the projects always suck.
It can.
It
But on something like this, it should be fine, right? Just a kind of a drop-in motor,
I don't know, man. It's still like a really expensive project, so you never know.
Now it's acting like the battery's dead.
Hey, have you tried YouTubing DIY how to jump a car? He's really trying to put it off. Really trying to put it off.
It's a battery.
No power.
Or what if that little bit of running seized up the motor a bit and it's getting ready to like lock up and now it's having trouble, like there's not enough juice to...
I mean, it's on jump start now.
I'll put it in the bay. And you're paying for it.
Let me get the ducks off it first.
I would put it in the bay with the seats in it just to piss you off.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I was trying not to hurt any Porsche fanboy feelings in this video, but I think we need a little Chevy power to get this thing running. Nothing? So a new battery directly from Porsche it is. Apparently these cars can go into some sort of like battery lockout mode when they're that low on voltage.
So we also learned that when you jump start these, you're not supposed to hook positive and negative because this is a load sensor, which will actually trigger it to essentially not do anything. So positive, negative.
So the ridiculous part of this whole thing is that when it goes into that battery lockout mode, it essentially triggers a warning in the computer system, much like a check engine light that has to then be cleared. But if you can't generate enough power to scan the car, then you can't clear the light and it doesn't let you power it through jump boxes. So now with a fresh battery in it, it's at least letting it go through all the progressions. We should be able to clear that and then hopefully it'll fire right up. Test start number 3024. All right. This thing sounds really good.
Does it sound good?
It sounds really good.
It sounds good in here.
We are getting just a little bit of blue smoke, which had us slightly concerned, but it just popped up an indicator on the dash. It looks like the oil level is slightly overfilled. How much did you put in it?
I put 3 quarts in it. The way that these are done, they actually retain oil during an oil change. So I gave it a little bit more just to make sure it wasn't low. So apparently I gave it a tiny bit too much. So we'll go ahead and change the oil, put fresh oil and a fresh filter on it and get it right on the money.
On these dry sump cars, if there ends up being too much oil in the system, it basically puts it into the PCV system. It can ultimately burn off in the cylinders. So that's why we're seeing essentially a little bit of blow by on it. But given this car's history, it's better to have a little too much oil than not enough. Yay, it runs.
We did it.
Did you not take the cap off?
No.
What a rookie move. just as a precaution. Is it everything you ever dreamed of?
You like lay into it like 50% throttle and like all the valves open more and you touch valves like boom, boom, boom. Like it's like that. It is wild.
Well, guys, this hasn't been a particularly labor-intensive rebuild, but it has been a long time coming. The entire process of sourcing another engine, sending the car to paint, and then finally getting it put back together did take a little while. And to see this thing moving under its own power again after such a catastrophic failure is definitely pretty rewarding. Wow. I'm a manual transmission guy through and through, but there's something about just like a properly tuned DCT or PDK in this example that's just absolutely fantastic. Well, guys, I feel like this is slightly anticlimactic, but I think that's pretty much it. We've still got a couple loose ends to tie up, but this isn't a car that we're going to go strap into the dyno or anything like that. It just needs a couple road miles put on it, make sure that everything's functioning properly, and then it'll be time for it to move on to its next owner. Yes, this GT4RS is going to be finding a new home as well. You might have noticed that we've been selling off a lot of projects lately. My brother Alex and I, we've got a new business venture coming up, and we're looking to free up as much capital as we possibly can. So if you're in the market for quite possibly the best road-going Porsche that's obtainable by mere mortals, this one here might just be for you.
Next time he could crank it up and work a little faster, or what?
Look at this idiot. Look at this.
tools.
Look at this idiot.
Just kidding, we're not making that mistake again.
Do that again and just don't fuck it up this time for me.
Okay.
Because now a socket's acting as a piston pin.
These are the Valvetronic. They're not the Valvetronic.
Yeah. Passenger side of the engine, so the other side from where the damage had occurred. And this is the driver's side of the engine. Idiot.
You can visit the sun at night.
Katy Perry did.
I know.
Get out of here, Mike Cable. I don't need you right now. I mean, I can do it if you're gonna suck. I mean, if you want to keep screwing it up.
Finally.
You sure you want those seats? You can't look at that. I'll give you couch seats. You'll slide out of that thing nice and smooth. Won't have bones cracking like that. I'll take those off your hands.
Shut up.
All right, are you ready to take this thing off yet?
Do you want me to take it off now?
Yeah, 10 times.
Let
the charm.
a professional get involved here.
No, you're right in the corner of the screen. You might have made it.
So what do you think actually failed here?
The motor.
Oh yeah, we're gonna find out here in a little bit.
This might be hard.
Maybe you could use the wrist pin to knock the socket out.
One more precision measured Porsche installation tool.
That's how it's done, Tim.
Do you believe that? Did Katy Perry go to space? Or is it fake?
Well, she's an astronaut just like you're a Porsche mechanic. The problem with being a short tack in the big world. The Porsche mechanic.
Leaking coolant all over the place.
Porsche. Porsche.
Ah.
Porsche.
Ah. Wild looking oil pump assembly. I mean, so 2 pickups?
Didn't do much good, but you know.
I'm down with the car. I'm done with Mr. Tim Shenanigans.
Evil shenanigans.
Finally. Oh my goodness.
Ow, ow, my back. Oh, my back.
You see this young guy behind the camera just laughing like it's funny? It's not funny for him.
I don't want to get there.
Too high for it.
They're color coded for us dummies.
Let's
Probably stupid, but whatever. That was your cue, bro.
Yard pounds.
Yeah, you etched it in there.
Doesn't matter.
That's not an actual form of measurement. That's your form of measurement.
It's roughly 3 foot-pounds per yard pound.
Try getting someone strong, though, you know, instead of...
You can get some more leverage if you want.
That's about it.
Solid time investment.